After midweek games in the Uefa Champions League and the Uefa Europa League, league football returns to us. And we have, interestingly, two sides that lost in midweek playing against each other in the Premier League this weekend. That's Liverpool against Chelsea. This is the Nutmeg, and my name is Solomon Fowowe. Dennis Erezi returns to us in the studios. How's it going, Dennis?
Very well, Solomon.
So straight into the meat of the matter, we have Chelsea against Liverpool, and you know, it's interesting, like I said in the introduction, that both sides, they lost over the weekend, over the midweek. And seeing that Liverpool have had a 100% record and Chelsea are still finding their feet and trying to get themselves back, do you think Chelsea will be able to put up any sort of surprise against Liverpool in this one?
Chelsea has a chance because you look at the team as well, though you could blame some of their defense, their frailties in defense, but then take nothing away from the attack. And then talking about the man of the moment, you know, Tammy is firing on all cylinders currently, and Frank Lampard seems to be getting his mood, you know, on the players already, you know, except for the loss during the Champions League to Valencia. But against Liverpool, I think they have a point to prove. You know, I think this is the opportunity to show that, you know, the match against Manchester United was just one of the matches that you play, and you know, you just get your hearts together for the season.
Do you expect Lampard to use the game between Napoli and Liverpool as some sort of template for his Chelsea side heading into this particular fixture?
If he does uses that, I don't think he's out of the equation. If he tries to use that, if he tries to use the template that Napoli used in beating Liverpool, I think he will be right on point and spot on, because do not forget that last season this same Napoli team, you know, beat Liverpool while they were in Naples, and then this season as well it is repeating itself. So maybe you want to start paying attention to this Napoli side, you know, as a side that has the key to unlock the defensive line and also the compact team in Liverpool.
So we're talking about the man of the moment, Tammy, who is possibly going to be causing problems for the defensive line of that's Liverpool, and it's going to be facing an accomplished defender in Virgil van Dijk, someone who is possibly going to win the Ballon d'Or this year. And how do you think Tammy Abraham is going to be holding his own, seeing that he's still a very young striker dealing with someone of such profile? How do you think he's going to hold up?
No, I think the job up front, that's the match against Liverpool, is not necessarily the, you know, like a work on or a workload on Tammy Abraham himself as an individual, but I think as on Chelsea as a team and as a collective unit. Because if you look at this Chelsea side, one of the things that I think has been working pretty fine for them is, you know, the collective play, and then the interchangeable abilities between Mason Mount, you know, Tammy Abraham, and also with the return of Willian. So if you want, although you could say that Tammy Abraham would be facing an established defense, but take nothing away from Tammy, I also think he's an accomplished striker as well, in as much as a lot of people might want to differ on this. Because if you were able to play in the Championship, score 20 goals for Aston Villa, and then you were very pivotal in ensuring that they get promotion into the Premier League, I think such a striker is not one of those strikers you want to push by the side. And fine, you could say that it is probably the first major season playing at the top 9 in the Premier League. But you also look at the sort of players that he's got around him. He has Willian. Willian has won the Premier League. Do not forget that Willian is also a proven, you know, defense splitter. So in that sense, I feel Chelsea has a point to prove against Liverpool, and Willian, Mason Mount will be pivotal in this one. And I also do not rule out Tammy Abraham getting a goal or two in this one.
Well, a goal or two in this one. And now let's just zone in on Tammy Abraham for a bit. And I'm trying to fathom what sort of striker is going to become. Is it going to be an enabler in say, the sense of Roberto Firmino, who enables the wingers and the inside forwards around him the way Firmino currently does with Salah and Mane? Or is going to be this all-powerful, all-conquering striker that knows how to get his goals, that knows how to play with the back to the post, and just this complete modern striker? What sort of striker do you think he's going to shape up to be?
No, I see him shaping up to be a Drogba-like kind of striker, you know.
And that would be what?
Yeah, he's got the bit of the strength working for him. You know, though you could say that Drogba was not known for, you know, ability in pace, but talking about Tammy Abraham, he's got the technique as well. Although I will also not label him as an enabler. Talk about Firmino, because out of the three players Liverpool have up front there, Salah, Mane, and Firmino himself, I think Firmino is the most skillful amongst these players, and I don't think Tammy Abraham has gotten up to that level yet. But with his current level, I see him as a go-to guy to get the goals. I see him as a guy that you can give the ball to, and you know, he can run at defenders. That's the kind of striker I'm looking at.
So it's going to be causing major problems for defenses, and you see him, say, a couple of seasons from now, and even maybe this season finishing as the highest goal scorer.
Yeah, he's got the platform to achieve that, because take nothing away from Chelsea. Chelsea is an established side. Chelsea is a big team in English football, and if he's got a platform, I believe he wants to take the chance that he's got, and I think he has started well already.
So, just your prediction in this particular game, Chelsea against Liverpool, what do you think is going to be getting the win in this?
No, Chelsea against Liverpool, I think it will be another win for this Liverpool side, but I think Chelsea will rub some shoulders on them.
Now, just before we leave the Chelsea talk, let's look at the defense of Chelsea. There was Tomori in the last game, and he looked impressive, especially his goal. His goal was mind blowing, to be very sincere. But we're looking at it from the defensive point of view. What do you think Lampard is going to be sticking with? Is it going to be Kurt Zuma returning to the heart of the defense, or it's Fikayo Tomori also playing against the likes of Salah, against the likes of Firmino and Mane again?
I think that's one of the areas that has been giving Frank Lampard some headaches. Do not forget that just days before the Premier League season started, David Luiz left the team and joined Arsenal, you know, leaving Frank Lampard with nothing more or less like the option of rookie defenders. Although you could say that Kurt Zuma has had some stints with Stoke City and the likes of Everton. But then you see that he is not the kind of player that have really evolved into that level you should have expected him to be. So I think it's one of the areas where Frank Lampard will need to worry about. But I see him going with Fikayo Tomori, you know, who, you know, at some point in the match against Wolves, although was shaky, but, you know, covered himself up with some glory with the screamer that he scored. And so I think he will be starting with Fikayo Tomori.
Thank you so much for coming today.
Always a pleasure.
So there are other Premier League games that are going to be coming over the weekend. We have West Ham against Manchester United. We have Arsenal against Aston Villa. And also there's Man City against Watford. Also in Italy, we have AC Milan against Inter Milan. That's the Milan derby over there. And in that's Holland, we have PSV against Ajax. It's been an absolute pleasure presenting the Nutmeg to you. My name is Solomon Fowowe, and if you're not subscribed to this YouTube channel, you should absolutely do that already, because there's awesome content all over for you to enjoy. Thank you so much for watching. This has been the Nutmeg.